All right, game update, right? Progress check. So, what I did today was I switched my entire game's architecture over to an entity component system. The reason I did that was because I already started to notice that things were getting kind of annoying to work with in my project. And so, an entity component system is a more data oriented approach compared to object oriented programming, which I personally I don't like OOP. That shit's ass. So what an entity component system does is that all entities in the game, like the player, um, this human thing. I have some pigs down here. These pigs, um, and I think I have like some rats up here, and these rats up here, right? Oh, sorry, my screen is clearing. I have these rats here. They all have an ID, and the behavior is attached to like a component, right? I think that's what it is, right? Because I think the components describe the behavior, all right, and the system is like, I guess you're implementing a concept into the game, something like that, bro. Something like that, like the systems contain that logic, so components can basically invoke behavior in these entities, something like that. So my issue, first of all, was I had to even understand what this concept was. Then I was looking at these libraries. I was looking at Bit, ECS, Miniplex. Those are the only ones that stood up in my memory. And first of all, that shit didn't make no sense to me. It made no sense to me. I did not understand what any of that stuff. So I had to build my own super basic features. The only other feature that like stood out to me that I was like, I don't even think I need this was like a query, because these ECS systems have queries, and I'm like, I don't understand that shit. I don't need that. Let me build my own. I don't need so much functionality. Like sometimes I'll be like, yo, sometimes I want the best and stuff, but I'm like, bro, if I get something that's the best that could protect me as my game scales, first of all, there's gonna be stuff that I don't even know what it does. So far my approach to building games and making games has been, as the problems come up, we'll work. We'll figure out a solution. But there is no point in prepping for a what if scenario with things that I don't even know why they work. Solutions are a lot more understandable if you understand the problem. If you've never had the problem, you can't even value the solution. So that's kind of one of the things I did today. I'm sorry, it's gonna be kind of boring today. Nothing visual happening because I didn't really make anything. I was kind of just focused on building this shit out. Sorry. The next thing I did was I so my game is just being built with TypeScript and Pixie.js just because I'm gonna be honest. I've been fighting these game engines. I could not make any progress with my games because, first of all, I hate the tile maps, right? A lot of these game engines tile maps suck ass. For me personally, I don't like them. I do. Sorry again. My stomach has been feeling pretty bad today. I do like LDTK. That's been my most fun with that. But yeah, I'm so tired of fighting with these game engines because they're so opinionated. So far, I'm liking pure TypeScript with Pixie.js. I do like Love2D. I like looked it over and I was like, wow, this is so simple. Like it gives me a lot of space. But the only reason I'm doing Pixie.js and TypeScript right now is because, bro, I have an iPhone, but the lightning port doesn't work, and I'm still debating whether or not I want to make mobile games. Because listen, I do want to make games for myself, right? I do want to focus on the product, but I also need to make money, bro. I don't like the idea of a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 sounds terrible, bro. You're more spending more time at work. You spend more time with your coworkers and your friends and family. You know what I mean? Like your life is really work, and I would love to just make some money. You know what I mean? Am I an evil person? No, but I would love to be able to live a decent life and be able to do more of what I love than suffer in silence with a smile on my face. Um, but it is what it is. So that's one of the things I've been debating. You know how it is with the human mind. Sometimes they be greedy, because the thing is, this is also my first game. And the thing with like charging for this is, like, first of all, I don't know. Like, I don't think what I'm building is that special. I mean, I want to call it special, but I see some amazing ass stuff on itch.io. You know what I mean? Some amazing stuff, right? That I'm like, wow, this is really inspiring, or like, this is kind of already what I wanted to make. But also, the thing with Steam, right, that I find kind of challenging is that, like, just pricing makes no sense, man. Like, in terms of pricing, bro, like, I don't know, man. Even $5-10 is so competitive, right? Um, and I guess, you know, like, I would have to ask myself, what's the game of value? You know what I mean? Like, it's not buggy. That's the one thing I gotta do. Like, I'm not a super polished person, but I do want a working game that's not glitchy and not chew off more than I can chew. Listen, I'm gonna still say it again. Vampire Survivor is one of my favorite games. I've been producing music, so I guess I could have pretty good music. I don't know about game feel, bro, but I don't care about that stuff. I'm just gonna try and execute the best I can on my values, and keep making, like, for example, this is just game number one. Game number two is gonna be crazier. Right now, I'm one of the things I've been debating about is, you see how all these things are moving. So a real time game. This is another reason why I didn't even want to do a game engine, is because these things are all moving at their own pace and stuff like that, and I'm not sure if this is the right path for me. I've been debating this because I'm at like a breaking point. And now, hear me out. I don't have to do one or the other. Like, I could just make this game this way and the other game this way. It's just like, it's very a big branch in decision making, because right now everything's real time. They're kind of doing their own thing. But guess what, though? If I do that and everything's doing their own thing, I don't think a click and point makes sense. I think it would have to be a bit more of an action RPG. But again, this is the thing, though. An action RPG is a lot more complicated. You have to. There's a new component, bro. Like, if I make this if everything is moving real time, right? With the game loop, this is a different game, because now I have to consider different things, right? Because now I'm gonna be critiqued on a different set of standard. Because one, if everything's moving like this, now movement is a factor. I'm gonna have to take into account movement, right? How am I gonna take into account damage too, right? That's another factor I have to take into account. Damage. How is damage gonna work? So it's a lot more things that I have. It's also gonna be a lot faster pace, right? Because you're gonna be wanting to dodge and shit like that, and so that happens. But I think it's called like a tick system. What the tick system is, things only move if the player moves, right? So it's kind of like the whole world is turn based. But if you keep moving, it kind of feels like everything's sort of real time, right? So the reason I do that is because then the entire then my shit freeze. Oh my god, bro. OBS on Mac is so annoying. All right, I'm gonna make a part two again. Oh my god, so annoying. Fuck.